I traded my Tesla for some magic beans. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be a real short video, but I think it's a product that's going to help some of you out, especially those with legacy Model S and X. And today's product review is sponsored by our friends at Jowua. There's their website here. They sent me a box of items for my Model 3, but I think today's item that I'm reviewing would make more sense in our Model X. And we are now in the 2018 Model X. As you can see, this is a pre-refreshed model. It's got the vertical screen, round steering wheel. One of the things about this vehicle that it needs improvement on is the lack of USB ports. With all the different devices that we connect to our Teslas these days, USB ports are an important thing. So this vehicle only has two USB ports up front, and they're in the center console here. If you look in here, there's not really anything there. You've got your cup holders and some more deep storage, but under here is where your phone charger and some of the other USB ports are. So if we open this, you'll see that you do have a 12 volt right there where you could charge tablets and laptops and things like that, but you have these two USB ports right here, and one of them is powering our MagSafe smartphone charger. It's a wireless charger. You just set your phone right there in the cradle, and MagSafe will keep it attached there to when you take a quick launch, it won't flop around and shoot out of there. So that's really cool. I'll put a link in the description above that tells you more about this one. But this guy right here is our Sentry mode and Dashcam recorder. And so that takes up both of our USB spots. But what if I also have a thumb drive that has music that I want to play? I'm out of spots here, so I'm kind of out of luck unless I install some sort of hub. So you can see the limited amount of space we're working with here. You can't really install one of those big bulky USB hubs that gives you more spots here just because there's not very much room to deal with. So what can we do to work around this? So as a workaround, Jowua has sent us this Dashcam reader. Basically all it is a pass-through device that you can fit your MicroSD card that you use to record your Dashcam and Sentry mode, but it also has a USB port also right next to it, so you can connect other things like your music drive. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot of space on this side, but we can remove this Dashcam reader right here, and there will be more space on the side to fit this little hub. So let's go ahead and remove this one, but before you just yank it out, there is a special procedure to remove this, and we need to go to the main screen to do that. So you need to go to your main screen here and look for your Dashcam Sentry mode icon. It looks like a little camera right there. If you don't have yours automatically here, it's probably going to be listed in your devices here. So once you have that, you see how it's got a red dot at the top? That means that it's activated. So you want to basically deactivate the Sentry mode for right now so we can remove the device. If you were to just pull it out of the USB port, it could potentially corrupt files that are on there if it's trying to write to something while you do it. So it's just better to eject it, if you will. If you go back to old computer days, you eject the drive before you actually unplug it from the hardware. So the way you eject it is just to put your finger on the icon and hold it for a few seconds until that red dot disappears. It'll turn gray. So let's do that. Now you see the red dot has disappeared. It is grayed out. So now it is safe to remove this from the port. With that removed, you know it's removed because now there's a red X there. And once we remove the device from the package, you'll see that it is a USB 3 port on the front here and a micro SD card reader on the other side here. This is what you'll use for your Dashcam Sentry mode and then you can use this for whatever you like, whether it's music files or connecting a video game controller, whatever fits your needs. It's just providing an extra port for you. So if you've been a long-time subscriber to the channel, you know that this next part will probably be the most controversial part of this whole video, because this is the actual micro SD card adapter that I recommend. It's a Rocketech. I use this in all my Teslas, and the card that I approve of is called an endurance card. This one is a Samsung Pro Endurance 128 gig. You really don't need more than that, but anything greater than that is fine. It's good to have, but you don't need anything more than that to really make Sentry Cam and Dashcam work. You're not saving full-length, movies on this. You're just saving little clips of things that really, how often are you needing those clips? You may have 1-2 incidents a month or every other month where someone may be too close to your car, but rarely will you get someone actually bumping your car or damaging your car, and you really don't need that many gigs of data for something like that. You really could get away with like a 32 gig card or 64 gig, whatever fits your budget. I recommend the 128. It's kind of the sweet spot. Pro Endurance, I've got several videos on this. Any card that says endurance on it is good. It just means that it's a little bit more robust. It's going to handle temperatures better, really extreme temperatures like high heat that builds up inside of a car. Also freezing temperatures in the winter time when it gets below freezing. These won't lock up on you. So that's what I recommend. And I also recommend this guy, the Rocketech. But let me show you what Jowua is offering. Jowua has also sent me a micro USB card for me to try out. And as you can see on there, it actually says on the card, Dashcam and Sentry mode for Tesla. So this is designed for Teslas for that purpose. My gut instinct is this is not an endurance card. It's going to be basically the same thing as a USB drive, which is fine. It just may not last as long as an endurance card will. Once you hear it click into place, that's how you know it's installed. And to remove it, you just push on it till it pops, and it'll pop out like that. This is what it would look like if you use the endurance card. Just put it in the same way. It looks like that. So the conundrum I have right now is that this one's 128 gig, but it is an endurance card. So it's going to last longer. It'll do better and perform better in extreme temperatures, and also the many overwrites that this will do during its lifespan. It's just more robust. But this one, I don't really have any specs on. It may be an endurance card, but it doesn't say anything about it here. But it is larger. It holds more files. It's 256 gig. So we'll go ahead and try this out, and I'll report back if we've had any problems with this one. Okay, now that we have a micro SD card installed, we can just insert it into the USB port, and that's what it's going to look like sitting in there. You still have plenty of room down here. You still have access to your 12 volt, and you can remove this if you need to as well. So if you go down here again, you'll see there's still a red X there. Why is that? Well, because the new card has not been formatted yet. So let me show you the easiest card formatting software in the whole computer world is in a Tesla. You go to your menu here, go to safety, and then format USB drive. Are you sure you want to format it? Yes. Okay, now you see you've got a red dot there. It's because the drive is formatted and working. So now if I launch my music app, I can select the source audio. Notice there's nothing there about USB. Well, that's because I've never had an available port to put USB files on until now. So now I've got a USB drive that's been preloaded with MP3s and other audio files that I can now install into this reader here. So if I go here, there we go. So now I've got my MP3 files and my Dashcam Sentry mode all in one port right here. I've still got my port here for my phone charger, which these are being sold on Abstract Ocean. And this one was handmade by the guy that invented them. He used a 3D printer. He handmade this with the Alcantara. He put it on and put it all together. And they were back ordered for a long time because he was doing all this by himself. The most recent rumor I've heard is that he is now outsourcing to a manufacturer that's going to, mass produce these for him. Maybe even better quality. I don't know. This is pretty good quality though, because it's handmade. But if you try to order one of these and they're out of stock, that's why. I think they're trying to roll over to a mass production model. It's going to be the same thing, same design, everything. It's just not going to be 3D printed. I think it'll be mass produced. So anyways, that's that. So now that I've got that USB device installed, I can go back over to my source audio, click on that, and now USB is listed as one of my options for source audio. So far, I've only found one downside to this whole setup, and that's because I'm using this wireless MagSafe phone charger here. You see how thick it is. It's basically so thick that it's not letting me latch it closed. It goes all the way down, but it just needs a few millimeters more for it to just click into place and latch closed. Most of the time we're going to be driving around like this anyways, but it would have been nice if there was a little bit more room. Again, not at fault of Jowua. It's more because I'm using this ultra thick MagSafe charger here. So I'll be waiting for revision 2 that's coming out soon. Maybe it'll be a little bit thinner and we'll be able to latch that down. But for now, that is the one downside to my particular setup. If you don't have this, you won't have this problem. So if you've watched my very first video about USB readers for Dashcam and Sentry mode, you'll see that I was advertising a SanDisk MicroSD card reader, and that one turned out to be a problem. It worked fine for several months until Tesla did an update to its software, and that made it just stop working completely. It just wouldn't get recognized by the car. So that's when I switched over to that Rocketech adapter, and I've had zero problems with it. So if you have any problems at all with your car not reading your micro SD card, maybe that's why. Try a different adapter. I'm going to go ahead and test out this Jowua adapter. I'm not married in any way to that Rocketech adapter. I just like it because it just works. But that's all it is it's just an adapter for that micro SD card. This Jowua reader actually has a pass-through for USB as well. So the Model 3 and the Model Y have a lot of options in regards to USB hubs and things like that. The Model S and X though really just have those 2 USB ports up front, and that's all you got to work with. And there's not a lot of space in there to put a big bulky hub. So this does solve a problem, and I like that. As long as the reader will read the card and recognize it and do its job, I'm good with that. I don't have to keep promoting those Rocketech adapters anymore. Like I said, Rocketech has not sponsored me in any way. I just found that it works, so I like using it. Now, if this Jowua does the same thing but adds the added feature of another USB port, that's even better. So I'm going to be testing this out. If I have any problems at all with it, I'll let you guys know, and I'll just go back to using the Rocketech adapter again. All right, guys, so that's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure you smash that like button. Please subscribe. I've got a lot more coming. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care. Bye.